I wanted to talk to you a little bit about why this goes on, right? Well, $10 trillion. You can trade out public schools now on Wall Street. You could buy, if you wanted a stock to go up when the market crashed, you should have been in the testing business. Their stocks went up. Our scores have never gone up. Our scores are pretty much level and flat. Little or nothing's changed. What did we get for our $10 trillion? Nothing, except paying the sorrow. That's the why over there. Now, I also wanted to say to you that in the paper that I'll give out to you, in medicine, in medical science, we have two principles, because these people that created, that Sandra did an excellent study, an excellent presentation about the Common Core. They don't seem to have any principles. But there are two principles to approve a medicine, to do an intervention in the hospital. The first is do no harm. You cannot go out there and say, I'm creating an intervention that will harm some people. If you do that, you'll go into jail. Your medicine will be pulled off the shelf. The other is beneficence. Beneficence means a wellness component. My intervention, my medicine must have a promise of wellness. I cannot have a medicine say, well, you know what, bear aspirin, half of it will, half the people will die and half will live, but what the heck, will help you with your headache. I can't do that. If I did that, if I said that, think about what they're saying to us. 19 states have decided to tie test scores to graduation rates. Those 19 states have seen increases in dropout rates. Research base has told us that for a long time. Something is rotten with not only the core, but with our assessment policy. Now, I said that my mother's prayer group kept us out of a lot of trouble. I know a lot about history because I was blessed with teachers who served in World War II and the Korean War. And God, when they taught us our history, it came alive. It came alive. It made us feel like people. It made us feel worthwhile. It made us feel like we were proud to be Americans. And I'm thinking about my kids don't even know. By the time the emphasis on isolated reading and writing and mathematics, our kids are coming into the 8th grade. I remember my wife is a Harvard teacher, and her 8th graders, there was a question on one of the prompts that talked about the founding fathers. And they said, well, what founding fathers? What kind of fathers? What are they? And the kids were perplexed, and she said, I can't say anything to them. I can't talk to them about this. And so what the prompt was written about was, you know, well, either your father was there or it wasn't. You know? Now, that component, what are we losing? We're losing our heritage, our culture, our history. That's what we're losing, and we're losing it to these strange people. I said I want to leave you with some solutions. I'm what they call, maybe it's because I'm from Jersey, but I joined this little group called the Connecticut Bats. They're badass teachers. Now, my mother would not want me to use that word. Forgive me, she's not here, pull me out by the ear and I'd be in trouble. But yesterday we had an action. There's a human tale to the story. So Andrew Pesky's son, Ethan, is from Florida. For the past 3 years, she's been harassed by the Department of Education in Florida to test her son. He had cerebral palsy, severely, severely disabled, has never known real food, has eaten through a feeding tube all his life. And he was in hospice care, and they sent his teacher to test him. The teacher didn't want to test him. His teacher, Andrea, was wonderful in talking about all the wonderful things the teacher did, and how she had to defend that teacher because that teacher did not want to do any of the assessments. She said, what can you benefit? It was an alternative assessment. And they said, it wouldn't be that hard. All he has to do is say, tell us what an orange tastes like. And she said, my son has never tasted an orange. He eats his food through a feeding tube. Well, Ethan's dead. Ethan's mother testified this week before the Department of Education in Florida. And she's calling for Ethan's law in Florida. And so we emailed Ethan. I said, hey, my name's Jesse. I've got a little Facebook group called Children of More Than Test Scores. And, you know, I'd like to have an Ethan's Law in Connecticut. I hear there's some legislators in the room. We were trying to get a press conference inside. It's going to be very cold Thursday, but it looks like we have to be outside. What if any legislator would like to sponsor us? Doesn't mean that you have to be supportive of this law over there. But we're proposing an Ethan's Law to Connecticut because democracy is about a parent's right to say no. If you have tested are doing something to me, to my child, that I think is harmful, that I have to be able to say no. You can't be giving me 4 no's and then, by the way, you're breaking the law. That's not democracy. So on Thursday at 11 o'clock, if you'd like, come hang out. We're hoping some members of the press will come in. We're hoping some of our legislators will come. But we'll be there anyway. Because we're going to ask for Ethan's Law. Because it really begins with, how could a parent not have the right to say no to a test that really does nothing for their child, but tells them how to sort and rate and rank their school? If we can't say no to that, I don't know what we can do. So my solution, one of my solutions is we need an Ethan's Law in Connecticut. It's democracy, it's democratic. We need that. And I'm all for that, so I'm hoping you'll join me in that. The other solution is, I'll probably get in trouble. I get in trouble all the time right now. But if you feel the assessments they're giving your child, or your grandchild, and your nephew, or your niece are harmful, then you have to take the 4 no's, and you have to opt out. It won't help us down the road. When the kids grow up, I'm going to tell you what they'll know. They'll have to know, you know, that when I was 18 years old, we got into a little bit of trouble. The police came to take us away, and it was the kind of stuff bad boys do. And Reverend Fitzgerald and the church ladies came and convinced the policemen not to take 3 of us. 2 of us went into those towers, and I'm over here today. But they convinced them. And you see, that stuff makes a difference. I knew my mother cared. I knew our Reverend cared. I knew all those things. We did. So I think the other solution is, heck, don't be afraid, opt out. Realize your teachers can't tell you to do that. My Connecticut BAT teachers, I'm telling you, they'd be handing you out the opt-out papers in a minute. You know, soon as they get the right, parents have that right. Let me tell you, you'll have teachers all over this state. When you be coming in the door, they'll be handing you the opt-out papers. And they'll say, I don't need that test. And I think that's enough for you for now.
Tell us where you'll be on Thursday and when.
Okay, on Thursday, I think we're on the north side of the Capitol. We just put in the bid papers yesterday. I'm hoping we're those legislators in the room. We'd love to be inside. We want to be inside. Oh, this is Tim. Correct. All right. Oh, yeah, they told me that some CEA lobbyist said, I need to see you. I don't know. So we can't let you leave. Because Thursday is going to be freezing outside. And our legislators can bring us inside. And we're not proposing something radical. We're proposing an Ethan's Law. Our parents are right. We're proposing that the legislature review the Common Core. That's simple. We think it's time. We're proposing... proposing, I'm very concerned with federal mandates that have seemed to take over our states, our towns, our villages, our local schools. I'm very concerned with that. So we feel that democracy, you know, you see the trend, Jason, you have a special master in your district?
I do.
Special master, Wyndham has a special master. We've got all these. We want to take them up in Hartford. The majority of the board is not elected. The mayor appoints, I think 5 members and then himself. And it doesn't matter whether you're a Republican or Democrat, it doesn't really matter. They love I don't know a mayor that wouldn't appoint the whole board himself, if he could. Now, what do we want? We want democracy, so the other piece is, I think we have to put democracy back into the Department of Education. So we are proposing that any policies that come with mandates from the Department of Education in this state have to meet the legislative approval of our legislature and get the governor's signature. Let's make it harder for them to change. So I don't think it's too radical. Maybe it is, maybe I'm just crazy. But that's our legislative agenda. It's not to overthrow the world. It's not to shadow, the pillars of life. But it's to put democracy back in education, and I don't trust them anymore. So that's our stuff. So on Thursday, if you want to come, please come. It will be a wonderful thing. Come.
Jesse, you can park in the legislative office building.
Well, that's a badass grandmother.
And a past teacher. You can park in the legislative office building. They have a big parking garage. Sometimes they send the visitors down below. Legislators will notice. But if the legislator, who I don't know who's actually in there, if he can get us a room, then we can be inside. If not, you can walk from the legislative office building. There's actually, you can go through so it's not as cold, through to the Capitol. And then I'm not sure where on the Capitol we will be.
They said the north side. It's like, if we can't get a legislative sponsor, and they're busy right now, I'm not really calling out, but we'd like to be indoors.
Well, I mean, we would love to have you indoors, but we would need to do that ahead of time. Thursday we both were just checking our calendars. We have 3 different committee meetings at 11 o'clock. If you are willing to pick a new date so that we can actually get you inside.
We feel we gotta be there. It's to the point, the legislative committee is, we've been told things like, we can't even believe it. There's gonna be a short session, everybody's worried, they're gonna run home, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, this is our children's thing, sorry. I don't know. But that's okay. We'll come back. One more thing.
We get the Hall of Flags. The Hall of Flags in the Capitol building.
Okay, the Hall of Flags.
So the representative can help.
One more thing, though. Parents and Teachers United cannot be defeated.
Amen.